And we're live. So welcome
Hey.
everybody to yet another live interview with Become a Fearless Father. And today, Rob Chrin is my guest. And we got one of my favorite topics to discuss, residual income. So I'm very excited. As you people can tell, my voice sounds a lot better. It's still not where it's got to be. But I found a solution. So if you ever stuffy nose, make sure boiled water and a tablespoon of vapor rub. Towel and breathe in. Keep your eyes closed. It's going to hurt. It's not pleasant, but it will clear you up like that. That said, Rob, thank you so much for hopping on. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Let's get right in, right? So residual income. Let's first start off with a simple question. For those that don't know, what is residual income and why? What are the benefits? Why should somebody be interested in making residual income, right?
Right. Well, there's kind of two things that I wanted to talk about. One is residual. Sometimes it's like passive income. People talk about something that's just going to keep recurring, but then it's like, how much of the work do you have to do for that, income to come in? Exactly. So, and there's many different strategies of that, but what we wanted to achieve is a way to create that. And we used Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Work Week strategy. My wife and I, the whole lifestyle design. And as we looked for opportunities, we both, my wife has been an entrepreneur for most of her life. And I work corporate, and we wanted to make a transition. So we were looking for opportunities, and we came up across one. It's a little difficult to explain the details of that. Or did you need me to go any more on the residual income part of it, or
Yeah, let's start basic, and then we'll dive in deeper during the interview.
Okay, perfect. So one strategy we have, and I know you had talked to Ryan Rieger back in October 2019, talk about multiple income streams. I've actually have partnered with Ryan. We do work together, and him and his partner, Jenny. But we started working with KDP, which is Kindle Direct Publishing. I don't know if you've had any people talk about that on your podcast. I didn't see any talk about that. But one strategy is to use what's called low content, no content books. So these are books that are not literature books. These are things like guides, journals, trackers, those type of things. Not a lot of content per se, but it fits a niche what people want in certain cases. What we ran into was we were going through this, and we thought this was a great idea, putting it on Amazon. And this goes on Amazon's platform, the one we use. There's obviously, as everybody knows, millions of people that are on there. So we struggled getting sales. So Tammy said, hey, I've been in business myself as an entrepreneur. I had a brick and mortar business myself. How can I utilize that knowledge? And she started going out to businesses and said, and she had some relationships with them, and she would look around and she would see like photocopy paper or a 3-ring binder, very unprofessional, and said to them, hey, would you like a branded, customized book and essentially a journal or a tracker or log that you can give to your customers to have them use, either buy it or to give to them depending on the situation? And they just were like, whoa, this is a great idea. I didn't know this was even possible. And one of the things with Amazon's KDP is it's print on demand. So that means you can print one book, or you can up to 999 in one order. So that was a great opportunity for businesses to say, I don't have to put in and buy 250, 1,000 units and have all that money sitting there. So I can buy what I need, and or just put it on Amazon, and then customers can buy it when they want to buy it, so, and it's a print on demand. Each customer can get what they wanted. And where a recurring income comes in, because logs, trackers, journals, it's not like a literature book where you read through it one time and then you can say, oh, I can go back and go multiple times. With a log and tracker, you filled out all the information in there. So you're going to have to buy new ones. And or as new customers come into a business, there's opportunities there. And so that became a model that we started investigating, and it became an opportunity both because a business didn't even know it existed. And two, you don't have to worry about all the competition. Most people that go onto Amazon just, try to struggle. Like, how can I be found? And we're not even worried about that because we're going directly to the business and say, this is for your customers, and they can then promote that. So as a high level, that's kind of, I don't know if that, it's always hard sometimes when you know the knowledge to explain what it is you're doing. Does that make sense what I talk about?
Yeah. I like it. It's very intelligent. So you get a percentage of every single time that you get that something gets sold. Is that correct?
That is right. So there's different ways you can set the pricing on Amazon. So if you set it, we like to get a $5 royalty on the book. So for every book that's sold, we get $5. Now that obviously depends on the situation, but that's a good round number that we try to achieve. The other side is the business itself can make money. So we can add an additional royalty and say, we're going to do a rev share or increase the price. And so we can say we'll both make $5 or we both split $5 and make $2.50 each or whatever it is. So it's a win-win in that regard. And that allows the business to not only provide value for their customers, but also then allows them to potentially make money if they choose to.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a big royalty, $5 per book or journal, because I heard that, writers don't make that much money for their books and it's theirs. Right.
Yeah. And see, that was such a great thing. People trying to sell books online becomes a very difficult thing to make monies. And so, that number we try to achieve, it just depends. Sometimes $1 a book or whatever, but it's based on that royalty and the price and what becomes, is it a number that a customer would be willing to pay for this log or tracker. So it depends on what content is in there and what value you're adding to the customer. Is it worth for them to pay that amount? So normally just kind of ballparking it, if we were going to make a $5 royalty, and there's different types of pricing because depending on if it's black ink or color ink, size of the book, or at least number of pages. But as a general minimum type size book, black ink, it's about $12 for the cost of the book that we make $5. So if that's reasonable for the business to sell that to their customers, that works out well. Sometimes the business doesn't even want to make a royalty. They just want to add value to their customers. They're not even worried about making money. So, it's all part of the discussion process that you go through.
Absolutely. So quick question, because you shared this with our audience, and I always like giveaways.
Yeah.
Right? So what is this guy? Is that exactly explaining what is it that people can do to set up something similar as what you guys have, or what are people getting just before you?
Yeah, so this is a guide. It's a free guide you can download, and it goes over the model a little more in depth what I just talked about, kind of very structured of all the details of how we did it and why we do it and all of those aspects of things. And just to let your audience know, next week, we're doing a free live workshop. We're going to dive deep into this for the week of March 16th. So every day we're going to do a live training, giving value of what we're doing. So people, if they're interested in this, can get more information. And that's another link I shared with you was for the Facebook group. So if they join the Facebook group, that's where we're going to do the free live workshop that people can get more information on that.
Beautiful. So this link is in the comment section. It's also in the description. And then beside that, the link that Rob just talked about in regards to the Facebook group is also in the description section. So you can click on it, you get to it, you get access. I'm sure there's some questions, so make sure you answer those. At least I know I'm very strict. I don't let anybody in if you don't answer those questions. People, if you find this valuable, I find this huge valuable. I'm going to share in a second why, but make sure you hit the heart button. Right, show your appreciation for Rob taking his time to share this with you, and make sure you share this if you think some friends will get some value out of this as well. Because I'm telling you right now, they will. So let me give you an example why I am so happy that Rob, especially now, is on, and why this is so valuable for everybody. Right, everybody's heard of the coronavirus and how big it is. Right, so tomorrow, just for people to know, tomorrow my kids cannot go to school. So in the whole province of Madrid, that's a lot of kids. They closed down every single school. So imagine right now you're sitting there. So every single school is going to be closed and your kids cannot go to school and you are working at 9 to 5.
Yep.
If you would have known already about Rob's strategy, you could have sit at home and make enough money to just, make this through.
Yep.
I'm sharing that with you that, pay attention. We will continue this for another 15 minutes. Pay attention, because this is very valuable for you to work now on maybe the next time this is going to hit. So you're prepared and you make a residual income. You don't have to worry about this. This is very, very important. I've talked today to a lot of parents and they are struggling. They have no idea how to do this. And the only thing that companies here in Spain are doing is telling them, you can leave to go home with your kids. You will not get paid. They will not receive a dime. How are you going to pay for your rent? How are you going to pay for your food? Right?
Yeah.
Rob's strategy will help you with that. So, Rob, thank you so much for being on again.
Yeah.
Share real quick your background story, my friend. I want to learn a little bit more about who's Rob. You said you're married. Share a little bit of information about your wife. And, of course, we want to know a little bit more about your kids as well.
Yeah. So my wife and we have worked in, I guess you would say, regular jobs over, most of our life. My wife, Tammy, let me take a step back. We've been married 30 years. We have one child.
Right.
She's 27 now. So she's, for a lot of the people, I think, there's a lot of people that are a part of your group that have younger kids. So we're, our daughter's a little older, so that, that it's a situation, but we, have involved her in our business also. But my wife, so my wife owned a salon for 30 years, a brick and mortar store. I was in the corporate world almost most of my life. And the last 20 years of my life, I was a software tester. So I worked for big companies. We did large enterprise type projects. And I knew as time was going by, and when I was younger, we had seen, as people were moving up in middle management, being part of corporate world, the corporate world, they were being let go as they got older. They were bringing in younger people to replace them. So we were always looking at, like, what is this opportunity that we could do to basically, like you just said, is to not have to be in the 9-to-5 grind, to be able to create a recurring residual income and passive as possible, and multiple streams too, not just one. You don't want to necessarily be dependent on one. And so we kept looking. And as I said before, we read Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Work Week. We were looking at a lifestyle design, found out about Amazon, to be able to sell on Amazon. And I heard of this from the Pat Flynn podcast. I remember episode 99, because I remember it was one right before the 100th. And he talked to a couple, Jessica and Cliff LaRue, that were selling on Amazon. And they said, we grossed $300,000 last year. We're only able to keep $100,000 of that. And I thought, what? And I didn't even know, one, you could sell on Amazon, and number two, that you could make this kind of money on Amazon. So they talked about their process. And one of the key things, my wife, had done some eBay before. Amazon has something what's called Fulfillment by Amazon, FBA, which allows you to send all your inventory in, and they manage everything. And as we were thinking about things in our lifestyle design, we thought, man, this sounds really good. This might be a great potential. We started out doing arbitrage, which is basically trying to find something on discount sales, wherever, and it sells higher online. And we did that, but you're always on a hunt. And that wasn't something that we really wanted to do. We decided to go down the private label path. We went that direction. I used a lot of the skills I had with software testers as a software tester to build tools and different ways to automate and manage all of this data when you're searching for opportunities for private label products. So I created tools. That's how I got connected up with Ryan Rieger and Jenny Hunt. We work together for a membership. We provide keywords and products for customers on a monthly basis, giving them opportunities. And then Tammy got exposed. Jenny Hunt, Ryan's partner, created a course, how to create low content books. did that whole process and struggled getting the sales. And that's where her thought process came in with the business that I just talked about, to go out to businesses directly. So that's kind of where we're at. We also had our daughter, when she was in college, we were getting started. She was helping us actually doing online arbitrage. So while she was doing her studies, we said, hey, go search for opportunities for us. And we paid her a monthly or an hourly fee to do that. And now she has a degree in marketing. So she helps us with marketing and social media and all the things that it helps complement our business and the things that we're doing. So that's kind of a high level overview where we were and where we're at now. And then as we started out, I think I left this out. We started testing out Amazon, and then we said, let's just, as we thought, how can we do this? Let's just keep building on this to a point where we created these recurring incomes and these multiple income streams to allow us to make that change and move out of our jobs to do entrepreneurial type work full time. So, and that's what we do now.
Exactly. Wow, man, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. So let me ask you this. Married for 30 years, now working together with your wife in the business.
Yeah.
What's the secret? What, because we're not going to make it, it sounds really great, right? We're not going to make it rosy and stuff like that. I'm sure there's some conflicts at one point or another, but share with me, how do you make that work for both of you? And how do you make it work?
Yeah. It's interesting. We've always, it's funny. We're so different. I am very left brain, logical, analytical. She's right brain, creative, get in and develop a lot of those aspects of, helping, market and those kind of things. And so what we both looked at and we know what our strengths are and what our weaknesses are. And so when we develop, we usually try to figure out a project, some task that we're trying to achieve. And then she'll work on that aspect of it. I'll work on the other side. So if we need, creative logos, designs, marketing, she focuses a lot on that. I'm developing tools, techniques, data analysis, all of those things. And what's nice about us, and we've been fortunate enough, we complement each other very well. What her strengths are not my strengths, and what my strengths are not hers. But we then can come together after we develop looking at long-term strategies, how we can come together. Now, day to day, she and I work pretty much independently. We have an idea of what we're trying to do, but it's almost like we're two employees, if you will. So, and we're, we usually work in separate rooms. She does her things, I do my thing. And then we just come together when we need to, every day we always have our meeting to talk about what's going on and where things are, maybe struggles and challenges and, what we can resolve and do those things. But that allowed us to do that. And then also, to keep our marriage going, we set boundaries, of when we're going to work, when we're going to have time together to do the things that we want to do, and manage and try to organize that in a way that we can both balance out work and life balance together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What you're saying is it's really important. And you guys, what you just said, we're lucky. She's got one side and we got the other side, right? But you really decided, okay, you're focusing on this, on your strengths. I'm going to focus on my strengths. Right. And then during the meetings we'll discuss, but you're responsible for this and I'm responsible for that. Do I understand it correctly?
Yeah, that's right.
That
now,
makes sense.
I don't know every family, obviously, or couple situation, husband, wife, team, if they have that type of thing, but that's for us. That's how it is. Now, I guess it depends, like I said, I'm logical. She's more, I'm left brain. She's right brain type person. But we just try to figure out, okay, what are our strengths? What are our, weaknesses, and how can we use that together and maximize what we need to do? Yeah.
No, absolutely. That's great. Yeah, that's two powerful messages for people to understand. Is one, focus on your strengths, not your weaknesses.
Yeah.
And two, make sure that you set clear, like, you're going to do this, and are you responsible for this? I'm responsible for that. And together we're trying to build this, instead of, together we're trying to build this. And then we're both responsible for everything. Because I have the feeling, and I've understood from a lot of people, that's where in the beginning they failed when they were working together with the partners, is like, or with anybody, is like, you just, who's doing what? And then you're discussing about everything and you're not moving forward. So
yeah.
Sounds like a great strategy. I like that.
It's worked out for us very well. So
Absolutely.
can't complain.
Nice. I want to hear it. So let me ask you, because we just shared, right? So if you know about this, if you know how to set up such a business as you guys have, and generate your residual income, um, how does that, and we shared in regards to the coronavirus now, right? That would be perfect, because you can just, say like, okay, we're going to do a little less. We're going to focus really on the family, and going to make sure that the kids are okay and do that stuff, right?
Yep.
So how is this working for you guys? Because your daughter, of course, is a lot older now, but how have you determined this for your family vision? Right? Does that make sense? Like, how did you build that around this? Was that because you had a job? And how important was it for you to say, okay, we need to change this to make our family vision work?
Yeah, and I think it goes back to that lifestyle design. We just kept looking. We knew we wanted to get out of the 9 to 5 grind, or even as her being an entrepreneur, she didn't want to have to deal with employees and all the headaches of all that kind of stuff. So as we were thinking about things, we kept looking for opportunities, and it's like, no, that's going to not fit the lifestyle design that we want. So we kind of had that, I guess the goggles on of that type of what we're trying to look for. And that's when I heard that podcast, that was like, oh, this seems like the perfect strategy. And at the time, because of our daughter being in college, being a little older, she was, a lot of people use virtual assistants to help and things. And in a way, she was our virtual assistant, because she was away at college. And so she was virtual to us and helped us. So we kind of took all the pieces of, okay, again, going back to strengths, what are you good at? What am I good at? And then looking at those opportunities there, can we do that? Number one. And then number two, does it fit to create that lifestyle design? So we kind of had that thought process as we were going along. And it was many years that we just couldn't find things. I was, looking down paths of like internet marketing type things, and I could never really find the niche that I really wanted to develop and go for. And when we just heard about Amazon, it was an easy thing to test, and it just started clicking. But we always had that mindset of like, what is the lifestyle design that we want to achieve? And some of it is, not necessarily thinking about something like the coronavirus or some other pandemic that affects the potential of your job, but it is a benefit for sure. Like you just said, it's like having that ability that you don't have to go into your so-called job to work and or not able to, and therefore not able to get paid, is a big impact. So this was another great benefit of us looking at these type of opportunities.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love what you said, and I hope people picked up on that. You thought about your lifestyle first, of how, what is it that you truly want? People always, they work and they never think about, and then they complain, but they never think about, how do I actually want to live?
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what we're here for. We're here for living, and well, for me, it's also serving others. But now with you saying like, look, we first looked at how do we want our lifestyle, and then you said it, even though it was real quick, but I hope people picked up on that. I was listening to this podcast, and all of a sudden it came to me. It didn't all of a sudden come to you. It clicked. Why? Because unconsciously you were listening to that.
Yeah.
Right? You were looking for how to fit my lifestyle, not how to fit my job and make sure that I can make that work. No, how to fit my lifestyle. And then you got it. Yeah. That is absolutely terrific. I love that. I really appreciate you sharing that. And I hope people picked up on that, because that's so important. Start off writing out your vision for your family and your life.
Yeah.
And then everything will fall apart. It's curious how that works. So really good. So before we leave, Rob, share a golden nugget. Share some advice, whatever you want to share with us right now before we leave, to all our fellow entrepreneur dads that you think could really help them.
Yeah. I think, beyond a vision, which is important, obviously, that helps guide you, is taking action, right? Don't, as anything you listen to or whatever and learn, don't just take it in and, what they call just in case learning, just fill your head up with all kinds of stuff and not do anything. So I would suggest, if this potentially sounds good of an idea that you'd like to get more information, like I said, we're having the live workshop, but for today, the type of businesses, the opportunities is huge that we can reach out to. And like we talked about before, the types of books that we create are journals and trackers and logs and that kind of stuff. Well, not every business that's a perfect fit for. And you can even do other types of books like branding and informational type books. But types of books that make more sense for the model we're doing, at least as starting out, would be something like gyms, right? A gym and that's where my wife started out. She was going to a gym, and that was the first conversation she had. And something like a coaches, trainers, martial arts type thing, a therapists that do journaling with their and psychologists with their clients. Yep. So I would suggest just go to Google in your local hometown and do searches on those type of businesses and see the quantity of all of these businesses that are there, how many gyms you have. Realtors is another one, and that's an opportunity to work with, and my wife has done work with. That, if you just do some of those searches, that'll at least give you a sense of how many types of business you could approach. And the good thing is, you don't have to go, like, let's say you went to a gym and you worked with them. It doesn't mean you can't go to any other gyms, because these are customized and branded specific for that gym. You can, use the content and repeat that and go to another gym and just change the cover and their information that's in there. That allows you to work multiple businesses. And, and we're also we focus locally. So we're not talking, you have to find everything in whatever country you're in or whatever state you're in, just your local town, how many opportunities are there. So I would suggest do that just to see what the opportunities are. If you are interested in this and you wanted to say, well, okay, how can I even start learning how to create these books? You can go to YouTube right now. There's all kind of trainings out there, videos. Just search, how to create low content, no content books on Amazon. It's real simple to do. You can do that. As part of our live workshop next week, we're going to actually talk about that whole process, what we do, and share videos that are actually part of our course that we're going to share with everybody for free, that they can create the book right now, day one, or at least next week when we do that. So that'll be available. Like I said, take action. The other aspect is businesses. When we talk about businesses and starting a relationship with them or working with them, initially, all we're starting is a conversation. We're not trying to walk in and sell something offhand. All we wanted to do is go in and just talk to the people that work there. If you know the owner and the manager or something along the line, even better, because obviously they're the decision makers, but just go in and say hi. So many people go into businesses and never have a conversation with anybody, right? Mm-hmm. So all you have to do is do that. And that then, once you start a conversation and you start knowing who people are, you can then start conversations down the road of, how's business going, and offer and talk to them about this model, because they're so excited when they find out about it. So the other thing I would say is just go into a business, a coffee shop, especially if you're more of an introvert and you have a difficult thing of going and talking to people, just go in and say hi to people, get the baby steps going, start walking that path. And you'll realize that as time goes by, the opportunity to help the business, because I as part of the course that we have and the training that we do, we're not trying to sell things. We're trying to help the business solve problems and or add value. So all it is a conversation. And so I would say, pick 5 businesses and just go in and start talking to them. Just say hi, how's it going? That kind of stuff. So those are some things I think people can take action for right now. And like I said before, if you want to get more information, more in detail, next week we're doing a live workshop to even find out more.
Fantastic. Absolutely. Thank you. That's a great goal nugget to end this off with. Rob, how can people follow you? If they have more questions, how can they connect with you?
I would say probably the easiest is go to that Facebook group. That would be the easiest way. And then you can just tag me and connect up with me. That's probably the easiest.
Beautiful. And that link to that Facebook group, again, is in the description section. So you can just click on the link, make it really as easy as for you as possible. You just what Rob said, just take that action, click on that. And don't forget, you can also get the free guide that Rob made available for you guys. So make sure you can click on that link again. Rob, again, thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate it. Everybody else, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit that heart button so you show Rob and myself the appreciation for taking the time to share this knowledge with you. And we'll see each other again very, very soon. Take care, everybody.
Bye, everybody.